Hello and welcome to this new episode. So today's episode is like all of the previous ones. I'm here, Pierre. My name is Pierre, and I'm obviously there with my wonderful co-host L. Hello, L.
Hi, everybody. It's me again. Your favorite letter.
So it's us again. However, the environment where we are currently is a little bit different because we are currently in the botanic gardens of Adelaide. So don't worry if you hear some different noises or birds or people speaking around. It's just that we are in the nature right now because we thought it was a good idea to be in the nature, because usually when you are surrounded with wonderful palm trees and beautiful flowers, you are naturally more creative and happier, I would say. What do you think, Elle?
Oh, yeah, because, if you're just inside a enclosed space like a home, well, you need to go out, to be honest, because you need to see something different other than your house. And especially when your house doesn't have big windows, we are very lucky to have houses that have like huge balcony, but that I digress. But yeah, it's really good for your mental health, your emotional health, and as well as to power creativity to your mind. So yeah, being in the different environment other than your home, especially the outdoors, is a good idea. This is why humanity has always have activities that are greatly in the nature, like hiking, rock climbing, those kinds of stuffs. And yeah, just having a trail, I think that's good for us. Anyway.
You're absolutely right, Elle. And in today's episode, we will probably not speak about nature. Maybe we speak a little bit about environment, but in a different way. So, would you like to mention the topic? I was thinking of a better, clever word, but I don't have one. So would you like to name the special topic of today's episode?
Well, I'm not sure. It's like I feel like we're about to say some things that are that are basically calling out our cultural expectations, our traditions, our beliefs, and our perceptions of let's say jobs, I would say. Is that the right topic?
Yeah, that's right. It's about how some jobs are being seen in different countries or different cultures, which is more or less the same, and why actually people see some jobs as, well, not well paid or not good even, and why in some other countries actually those jobs are really valuable. And usually it's about history, it's about education, and especially about history that for decades and decades, generations after generations, those beliefs have been stronger there. So like with L, we were thinking earlier that in Europe, for instance, but it could be also in different places in the world, such as in some countries in Asia too, where, for instance, being a builder, being a carpenter, or being a cleaner, for instance, is like, people, at least with words, when they mention those jobs, they don't really respect those jobs from salary point of view, but also when they speak, it's a little bit like taboo. Even if it's, a job like never describes who you are, but however, in some cultures and in some countries, unfortunately, what you do as a living, your job is more or less who you are. Obviously, it's like changing nowadays, but I know, like, for instance, back home and in my family in general, I've been a doctor. You are a doctor. It's like it becomes your personality. Like, oh, I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer, and it's similar for different jobs. Although nowadays, that was maybe especially mostly for my grandmother, but still, I hear that quite very often nowadays back home. Nowadays, I mean, at the moment, sorry, Ellen and myself, we live in a different, on a different continent. We live in Australia, and obviously there they have to build everything or even rebuild. They like to rebuild things too, quite often. Like in Europe, from in my case, usually they will never demolish buildings. It's really rare to demolish buildings. They like to keep everything, and there are not a lot of things they have to build. So obviously the job as a builder, well, after many years, after many generations, the reputation is not really good. Let's say not good at all. In Australia, I think people even have to do like some learning, education, and so on to be a builder. And there's so much to build and to rebuild. It's the same in New Zealand. I could see exactly the same. It's like when you say, "Oh, I'm a builder," it's really good, and it's even in New Zealand, I met a few people who got sponsored by the company as a builder. Like in Europe, that wouldn't be possible because obviously the need is different and the history is different, and obviously the mindset and how, yeah, it's usually because of the need, but also how valuable could be that job depending of the place where you are. And the same, like when I see sometimes people cleaning a place, like everybody, for like especially in Airbnbs, for instance, in an Airbnb, what what's the most important is being in a clean house, clean apartment. If you have some hairs on the bed or some stains on the bed or elsewhere, well, that person, that owner of the Airbnb will have a bad review just because of the way how it's cleaned. And this is why it's also really even crucial. Like no one likes to be in a dirty environment. And sadly, actually, back home, in my case, it, for the past 5 years, it has been really dirty. When I walk in the capital city or in the streets, it's really dirty. A lot of graffitis as well, and I really don't like this. The environment is so important. This is also why we were speaking earlier to you about where we are in the Botanic Gardens, because it's such a beautiful environment with lovely, like the nature is so beautiful but also so well maintained, and the infrastructure is really good. At the moment we sit on a bench. This is why it's a little bit noisy, because I think some people will sing or will play some instruments, I believe. We might have to move, actually, I believe, because, yeah. But anyways, otherwise, the environment is so beautiful and so amazing. And this is also because how valuable is the, like, building fees. I mean, not fees, but like how much a government is ready to spend on renovation and on cleaning. And maybe in Europe also, why in some countries, I say some because I know it's not all of them. Like I have been living in London, and to me it's a really clean city compared to other cities. But the UK is still amazing compared to the amount of people living there. I think Germany is still okay too, but other countries are definitely not as good as those ones. And probably it's also how much money, or just about how good the people cleaning or building are, could be. I'm not an expert, but what I know is that in the culture, it's definitely the case that when a job is not valuable or it's not valued well, obviously that job won't be done as good as it should be, and also the new generations won't do that job because it has already a bad reputation. which is not the case, like I said, in New Zealand, in Australia. I think in the US it's similar too. So yeah, Elle, what do you think about it?
Well, I think I have mentioned before, and I think we have spoken about a topic as well about how some people connects our job as our identity. I think I've spoken in a previous podcast with regards to that one. And being a cleaner, but myself, like my job here in Australia is a cleaner. Back home, I do a different job. Like it's more viewed as somebody who's a professional, and I'm doing air quotations here, like professional, because I used to practice as a pharmacist back home, and it's like it's a different job from where I was to here. Which yes, I understand. Like it is both are really difficult jobs, but I like how in this country they don't discriminate what you do. Because the reason why these jobs exist is because they provide value to society. It's not a competition. Of course, some are paid more because you need qualification, which I understand. But viewing people as like, okay, you're just a cleaner, and also it's sad because those people, and you, according to previous conversations that I had with peers, like they also act that way because they're treated that way. It's like a cause and effect. And I feel like here cleaners are respected, they're paid really well, which they should be, and I am really paid well in my in what I do. But yeah, because they keep the environment clean.
It's
and
such
it's like
an important
such
job.
an important job. It's like garbage men are paid really well here. People who cleans the street are employees of the government. It's because they provide beautiful value. It's like it gets dirty with lots of people around, and there are people who have to do those jobs, and those people are really like, and those people can do it because maybe because they want to, could be for other factors, but they do it. And it's like it's weird when people say, well you're this and that, but then would you do it? It's like this is what I think. Would you be able to do it? Like if these people are gone like that in a snap, and somebody has to do it, and this is why these jobs exist, is because somebody has to do it, and they do provide value. And it just icks me because some countries actually underpay these people, and including in my country actually. And cleaning is so important. It's like you're two cleaners, let's say, managing a building, and it's like a lot of people just messing the place around, and it's like it's your responsibility to keep it clean. Like nobody wants to be in a place where it's dirty, and it's like I feel like people put a bad stigma in these types of jobs. I mean, it's like, who cares, to be honest? It's like, I feel like people put too much value in what you do. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so what? It's like I'm earning this money. Like honestly, it's not like I'm stealing from the people, like the government. I don't know, of other countries. I don't know. Like corruption's always happened. Let's say that. So it was like, why are people like okaying these types of behavior from powerful people, when people who just want to get by, people who are earning honest living, is like, wow, you're just this and that. Like, why? I don't understand. But here in Australia, it's like it's really valued here, which is really nice. And when you're in trades, actually people think you're rich. It's because, and I feel like these people
In
work,
trades, as like working as a builder.
yes, or even mining,
mining.
And I feel like these people sacrifice their health as well. It's like being a builder, you climb like I don't know how many stories of building, and then
It's crazy. Yeah.
just one gust of wind, it's like it's the end of your life. Miners, a little bit of earthquake, end of your life. It's like they're sacrificing their lives, time with their family, a good sleep schedule, and they're paid well and they're respected. And I don't understand why in some countries, especially I think as what you've mentioned in back in your
Europe,
part,
for
in your,
instance.
yes, I don't understand why.
Yeah,
why
and mining is like, wow, it's
mining is like the worst.
it's
It's like,
really not valuable. Although in Europe, most of the mines are nowadays closed, but there are still some mines, obviously. Before they used to have a lot of coal mines um, in Belgium, for instance, a lot of coal mines, where usually people from Spain and Italy, mostly Italy actually, would go for mining. And they were definitely not paid a lot, like definitely not a lot,
I
like
know.
almost nothing. And it's the same for, if you all of those kind of jobs, you see, like constructions, cleaners, because although everybody needs a clean place, and that's so important, the job itself is ruined by a bad reputation,
Yeah, but
built over time by generations and generations.
somebody, well, I'm not saying that somebody has to do it. And those people, like myself, I kind of like the tranquility of just being by myself and looking from the before and after of what I did. Like, this place looked messy, and after I did something, it didn't anymore. It kind of feels satisfying, to be honest. But yeah, for me, it's not a thing that I will do forever. Of course, it's because it takes a toll on your body too, just like being a constructor. And a minor, it takes not a minor, a minor. Sorry, that's different. But yeah, it takes a toll on your body. Like, you could do it, let's say 5 years. I'm not sure, but for me, like, 5 years could be good. But then after that, like, your body is like progressing into a much more, like much more, when you get tired easily, like you can't lift heavy things anymore. It's like, and that's what the job entails. And so, yeah, I mean, I did it. I felt, but then there's still the stigma. Even for me, it's like, it's really hard to tell people, like, yeah, hey, what are you doing in Australia? Especially when they knew me as somebody who's like a pharmacist, but I couldn't say, like, well, I am now a cleaner. But yeah, it's like, it's also, I'm ranting about this, but then I'm a hypocrite too. It's like, it's really difficult to tell that, yeah, I'm cleaning now, and I'm happy.
I know.
It's
Sometimes
really
it's
difficult.
sad that because you know what the other person you are speaking to wants to hear from you, it's sad you can say the truth, and you have to change it or to make it feeling a
Filter.
little bit better.
Yeah.
Like to make not just cleaner, but say, something else, because otherwise, like, the person will be disappointed, basically.
Yeah, which is like, why? I mean, why? I mean, I'm earning more than you, but then why do I feel this
I know.
embarrassment?
It's
I
just
should,
about the title, I believe.
yeah, which is like, I should change too. But I have nothing against people who say that. In fact, if they say, like, hey, what did you do? And they would say, well, I'm a cleaner, I would be really proud. Because why they were able to say that. And it's like,
Exactly.
it takes lots of guts and
To-
and confidence to be able to do that, because in society's eyes, it's like, wow, you're a cleaner. And I am too. I'm the victim of what society has
Yeah.
brainwashed me to think. And it's like, wow, but I have so much respect for these people, to be honest. It's like, yeah, so much respect.
Exactly. And I believe, it's like what you said, Elle, it's about also how you mention what job you do. Like, if you say I'm a cleaner in a guilty way, or not in a confident way, like, because already, I know I shouldn't, but I'm a cleaner, then you send some kind of signals to the other person saying, yeah, I'm a bit ashamed. But if you say, I'm a cleaner, it's amazing, isn't it? Like, if you are really confident, it will probably be seen as, it will look better. I would
Yeah,
say.
if you were confident. You know what? Be right back. I'm gonna chat all my friends and say, hey guys, I'm a cleaner.
But you didn't have any difficulties to say that to your mom, for instance?
Oh, yeah,
back
no.
home? No.
No.
That's cool, because you said in the Philippines, it's because, Elle, you are from
Yeah,
the
I had-
Philippines, and you said it's a little bit similar to Europe.
Little
I
bit
think not as
similar,
bad as
yeah.
Europe, but a little bit. And you said sometimes it can be a little bit complicated, but
but to this one, my colleague before, when the first in my first job as a pharmacist in the Philippines, I told her like, "What do you do as a job?" And I said, "I'm a cleaner." I told her like, which says a lot about how confident I feel around her. But to
Nice.
my college friends, it's like,
Oh, you
they view
didn't.
me. I haven't yet, because they view me as somebody who's like, wow, she's a top student. Not the
Oh,
top really, but more
but
like, she's like one of the smart ones. And what happened to her? It's like, wow. It's like, I'm going to be like the
yeah, you
one
are
bad example of what happened to her. Whoa,
right.
like, which is like so
Because for
bad.
them, since you did quite well at school and you are one of the top, they would think, oh, why do you use your amazing brain for doing a manual job?
Yeah,
Maybe.
but
Yeah.
but meanwhile, I am happily buying my Doc Martens, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Back
crying
home, if you're
back
still a
home.
pharmacist, you wouldn't
I couldn't afford this thing,
afford.
and it's like
Yeah.
I'm crying here, but wiping my eyes with the dollars. Like, I'm sorry, I'm a cleaner, but I'm wiping my eyes with the dollar money. Those memes that you see in the internet. It's like, it's like, I'm a cleaner, but and I'm just working full time, okay? Mind you, if I was working full time, oh my goodness me, imagine all the things that I would have been doing right now. I would have been in Japan, I don't know, drinking all of the sakes and eating all the sushi that I want. And I'm able to do that, imagine just by being a cleaner. Back home, as a pharmacist, I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to wipe myself with the dirty ass money that they give to me in the pharmacy, like those crumpled up bills that kind of looks like they sat on it for 24 hours, bare ass. It's like, yeah, I can't do that because life there is difficult, and I believe that even professional jobs, like, they're not even valued that much. I think if you're like a businesswoman or someone who works in the entertainment industry, that's it, you're rich. But the other people who are not doing those types of jobs or having those types of businesses, like, they're just getting by because it's like everything's expensive. And I'm thinking about myself, it's like I'm single, I don't have a kid, I believe I'm earning good. But what about those cashiers who are standing up for 8 hours the entire day, getting paid, I don't know, less than $10 AUD, less than $10 per day? Imagine that. And their salary gets
Less
gets
than
less
$10.
than $10. So that's a
How
370, because I think
how that's
AUD
possible?
fluctuates
Oh yeah.
37, 36, but that's still too much.
Back home, do you
Back
mean?
home,
Yeah.
less than $10, I would say, or $10. And it's like, you have to pay the rent, you have to pay a lot of things. If you have a kid, you have to pay for milk, you have to pay for a lot of things. And how could people...
Even though the life in the Philippines is cheaper, still earning, I don't know, 10 AUD in pesos. How much were you thinking in pesos working as a cashier? How many?
370 PHP, I think.
270.
370.
370 per hour.
Not per hour, per day.
Per day. Oh, so you said less than 10 AUD per day, not per hour.
Not per hour.
Oh, sorry. Per day. Wow.
Per day.
Oh, I thought you
And
said per hour.
no.
Oh yes. So even in the Philippines, that's like almost po- po- poverty.
Like,
Poverty.
that's basically like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna use something like a really bad. It's fucking over the uneducated, and guess what? It's like an endless cycle. Like, it's they're fucking them over because they can't afford education, and the cycle goes on and on and on. And I believe that I'm one of the lucky fews who are able to have a college degree, and I'm really lucky to be able to come here, because coming here in Australia takes a lot of money too. Like, takes a lot of education, and those people, they probably won't have a chance.
No.
I wish they would have, but they won't. And it's like, why? It's sad, to be honest. Sad. And it's like, people just say, well, they don't provide that much value, but okay, But still, it's like people have to get by, you know, and this is why we have minimum wage. Like, so I don't know. It's frustrating. It's yeah, but it's just basically me ranting about this, but I'm not doing anything, you know, which is bad too. It's like, what can you
At
do?
your scale is hard.
Like, what can I do? And it's like I'm like, oh my god, my poor fellow man in the Philippines, and here I am like wiping myself with toilet paper and flushing the toilet with clean water. Like, you know, wow. I'm a hypocrite, to be honest. And still I'm like one of the lowest of the low, like, you know, like, yeah.
Well,
anyway,
this is why we are doing this podcast, to share our opinion, and you know, because we believe, well, everybody deserves a nice life, and everybody
deserves to be respected.
everybody gives good values.
Everybody.
But obviously, when you do a job where you are in the environment where you are, it's not respected, and when you do a job, you know, people laugh about you by doing that job. Well, the person wouldn't give their best at doing that job because the job itself is discriminated.
Yeah, the stigma is appalling. It's appalling, to be honest. And it's like, I think everybody should have like a not well paid job to be able to gain some perspective. Like, I don't know, giveaway flyers. That's like a double-edged sword, you know. And not the double-edged sword, but more like you gain lots of values by doing that, actually.
Give away flowers?
No, flyers.
Oh, flyers.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, like you gain confidence. You get rejected all the
Let's
time.
speak about this.
Yeah.
Flyers or survey.
Yes.
When you ask for a survey on the street, a busy street in Sydney CBD or London city centre, what's happening when you do that job?
Yeah, it's like, you know, I think it gives you nothing but benefits, to be honest. Although it's going to be exhausting, but it's going to give you you're going to gain a perspective on how hard it is to be working so hard but then getting paid less of how much effort you put into it. And also you gain a bit of confidence too, like speaking to strangers, like, hey, do you want this DoorDash?
Be nice.
Yes. Although you
have so many rejections.
Yes, and you feel like rejection is one of the possibilities of your job, and you feel like you know, being said no by other people. It's like it gives you some sort of confidence, like, oh yeah, you know, you will be able to accept rejections better, which I think we should all be handing out flyers, to be honest.
Yeah, indeed. I almost did it in London as a contractor, but it was too hard because you are not really employed. You work for yourself doing that, and they pay you per flyer you give away. But yeah, it's really good because you build resilience.
You build resilience, yes.
You have so many rejections that it's a little bit like a vaccine. You are vaccinated against the no.
Yes.
And after it will be much easier for you to ask anything, because asking is so free. When you don't ask, you already have the no answer, the no reply. If you ask, you have a huge percentage to have a yes or a no. But if you don't ask, you have already the no.
You said no to yourself.
And this helps you when you give away flowers. After, I believe you will be fine. Like, usually when you're so scared to ask something, it's because you're not that used to have a no. And if you have a no, you feel, oh, it's because of me. But actually it's not because of you. It's because of a different reason. But it's nothing personal. But we usually, obviously, take social interactions, like speaking to someone else with, like, as personal. We take different, you know, when we have a rejection, or the same when we apply for a job and they say, oh no, we are sorry about you know, you didn't get the job. We feel like it's a personal no. It's, you know, it's because of us, but actually it's because, you know, like your previous experiences were not, you know, the best match. Maybe someone else already knew the company better than you. Maybe it's because of different criteria. Maybe they're not looking for a job anymore, for that position anymore, or maybe they found someone internally, and obviously they do prefer to fulfill that position internally rather than externally, and that's why you have a no. But it's nothing about you as like you physically, you, like we tend always to feel any rejections or any interactions as, like we are sensitive, as personal, and this is obviously it's part of our human nature, but we should be fine with this. And the same when you do a job where in some other countries it's not seen the same way, you should just be fine. Yeah, I don't care, but I know it's really hard.
Really hard.
And this is why, indeed, giving away flyers or doing like a survey, it's a good exercise.
It's a good exercise
because
for everybody.
You will have 99% of the time people will say no, or sometimes they will even be rude to you. They will say, they would do like some weird reactions to you. But you always have to smile and be friendly and say, oh, hi, how are you today? Oh, you look great today. Like you have to be very friendly. And no matter if the person doesn't reply to you, first it feels a little bit harsh, but actually the person doesn't mean to be harsh to you. That person just doesn't want to be interrupted in the street.
Yeah, and also that's from like confidence wise, but if you gain like a perspective of how hard it is to do this job, it's like you will realize how it is, and you will think that I've been there and I should be treating people better. It's a good realization exercise as well. Just saying.
Yeah, that's right. You're absolutely right. It's very important to do this. So I highly suggest you to do this exercise if it's if you just want to build resilience, especially for the ones who are doing a job where they feel a little bit, or even more than a little bit, discriminated, or they feel not valued. And then the second step would be, if you can, obviously, like move overseas in a different place where, if you like that job, you can continue the job, but it will be much more like you will be paid the right amount that you are supposed to, and you will receive what you deserve, and also the love you deserve for that job. Because sometimes some jobs, people are definitely not treating you right because you do that job,
Yeah, it's going to be
they
difficult
see you
feat.
almost like a slave, which is awful.
Yeah, but moving is going to be a difficult feat, but yeah, if you like that job, then I think it's good practice to just be confident. But that's really difficult too. It takes years to develop confidence. But yeah, it's like just do your best is what I have here in my pocket at the moment.
Yeah, and start practicing your resilience and your confidence from now, because by giving flowers, for instance, or giving flyers and other, like to have to just ask anything everywhere, every day, because like what Elle said, it takes a long time to be really confident, but you have to start practicing from now.
Yeah, you really do have to practice, because confidence is like a building.
Yeah.
You build a foundation and then you start from there.
Exactly. Would you like to add anything about this, about how jobs are being seen, and how people sometimes see you as what you do? Oh, you are a cleaner, so you are a cleaner. No, you and your job are two different distinct things, and that's usually what people mistaken sometimes. They see what you do as who you are, and this is so wrong. The job is just a journey, and you who you are, your personality, your person is two different things. It's not what you do, is not who you are.
That's right. Shameless plug. That's from our previous podcast.
Yes, that's right. Which one was it? Do you remember, Elle?
I forgot, to be honest, but we did spoke about
Those
that.
earlier ones. If you browse a little bit in the list of audios we have done, we have plenty of. I think now it's episode 52 already. So, yeah, we have done a good job. Do you have anything to add on this topic?
For me, I have nothing for now. We might speak about this again, like we have spoken about jobs as well before, and then this topic might come up again, and my perspectives might change too.
Yeah, sometimes it's important to do some updates, because the more we see things, the more we travel, the more we speak to other people with different point of view, the more our perception changes.
That's right.
And this is why traveling and speaking to other people with different, doing different jobs and so on, is like amazing at for you to learn, but also to change your point of view, and I would say to become wiser. Like, I believe in my case, for instance, I'm a wiser man than I used to be 10 years ago, or even
For
5.
sure. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. And this, obviously, you build this by speaking to different people from different cultures, from different continents, and so on. And this is life. Life is an amazing journey. Plenty of different point of views, and obviously sometimes it hurts, because you see what's fair and what's unfair, and you see the injustice in the world.
That's right. The world is not fair. Anyways,
I hope you liked our special, I don't know if we can say special, but outdoor episode, I would say. We are again quite sorry about the Ulu Keke performance, but it's still nice to have some background music anyway.
the ukulele sounds amazing.
I knew I did so. Yes. Anyways, just before this episode, actually, I think you tricked me.
I planted
Yes.
the name in his head, and I didn't thought that he would think about it.
And I
as
was
if it was a
sure,
proper
yes,
thing.
Elle,
I've been
she's-
pranking him today a lot, so I'm really sorry. Anyway,
So it's actually
ukulele.
yes, it's actually not my fault. That's what I was about to say. But no one cares anyway. So
No one
yeah,
cares. That's
have an
right.
excellent day, and see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.